Hey, what's going on, guys? So as promised in my last quick video, I said I was gonna do a VCI 380 versus Pioneer DDJ SR comparison, and I finally was able to get both of them. Shouts out to my homie Bomb Beats who let me use the 380 for this comparison video, and shouts out to the homie Ocean Oscar for letting me use his SR for this video. So let me turn around the camera. Enough of me, and let me show you guys what you want to see. Them side by side. I'll turn them on for you guys. Pros and cons to both, and yeah. So here you go, guys. Side by side. Off the bat, you could tell that the SR is wider. It's about 5 inches, maybe 5.5 inches wider than the 380. They're both metal construction. The 380 is heavier though because it has a standalone mixer, which some of you may know. As far as dimensions on the 380, to give you a really good idea, it's about the same size as a turntable, roughly. As you can see, I guess you could call it depth, however you want to call it. It's about the same size, with the SR being slightly bigger because of the knobs. And yeah, the back, they both have an on-off switch. So let's see the cool factor, which gets everybody when you first turn one of these on. As you can see with the SR, it lights up real nice. In my opinion, I feel like the 380 lights up better, as it has different colored pads, and it's a little short, but sometimes faster is cooler, I guess. As far as scrolling through your crates, you really don't have to touch your computer when it comes to this. You get a bigger tactile rotary knob on the SR, nice and big. It's smaller on the 380, but it has an illuminated ring around it, therefore it's easier to see in the nightclub. When it comes to loading a track, though, I got to give the edge to the SR because you have these big load buttons on the very top. Very easy to find, very easy to get to. On the 380, you have to hold. No, you use these as load, but in order to cue, you have to hold the jog scroll button and hit the load buttons. Which is kind of, I don't know, I guess you could say it's a pain. Other than that, the faders, the fader on the SR is very nice and buttery. As you can hear, it clicks very nice and well. It's very, very smooth. The faders are a little more rough. Maybe it's not broken in all the way, but as far as Pioneer products, I know, the faders are always a little bit more rough when you first get them. As far as the 380, very light crossfader, super light, very buttery as well. And the upfaders are smoother, a little tougher, than the crossfader, but smoother than the Pioneer's upfaders, that's for sure. You both, on both of them, you get your headphones on the front. On the SR, you have your mic on the front. On the 380, you have it on the back, and you have knobs on the back, which could be a pain in the butt. So let me go ahead and turn these around and show you guys the different outputs and inputs that they come with. So yeah. Now on the 380, you get two mics. You have a level, or both your levels are actually right here. And you have inputs, phono and line. You can enter switch with them. You also have a booth out with its level right here. One thing that I do have a gripe about, I don't like how the levels are on the back, but I guess it's something that you can't get used to or whatever. What's up? I'm still doing this the ghetto way with my ghetto tripod configuration. Sorry for the shakiness, but I don't have a way to view it with my tripod. And we're not, alright. Anyways, another thing to notice though, on the 380 you have gold RCAs, and of course you have your balanced XLR outs. You do need a DC adapter, which I will show you in a bit. It's not a huge power brick. It looks more like a phone charger, to be honest. And then you have your USB, which is not a locking one. And you also have a Kensington lock. And yeah. Now, if you go over to throttle, on the SR, you have your aux in and the level on the back. You have your booth/master out, which is RCA. You can switch it if you want it to be a boost or a master, and this is your volume knob for it. And you have balanced master outs, which are TRS. you have your your USB, and you have your on and off switch if it will show, yes, and of course the Kensington lock. Okay, another thing when it comes to effects, for the SR you have your effects up here. You have individual on, for all these bad boys, your effects assigns right here. When it comes to the 380, you have pad effects, which you also have on, the SR, but, give credit where it's due. The 380 came out with it first, even though the 380, was meant for itch in the beginning. So you have your pad effects right here, and you have your regular effects right here. You don't have individual control as you do on the SR because you get 3 knobs right here to control 3 different effects. On here, you only get 1 at a time. Same thing with the pad effects. It works the same way, I guess. On here, you can control, on the SR, you can control 4 decks. If 4 decks is a make or break it, then get the SR. One thing though, when you load up a track in the 380, which I will do in a little bit, you get a red marker on here. This doesn't light up at all, so you can't really see where you're at on the track if you're scratching or you're trying to beat jug or anything like that. So let me go ahead and load up a track and show you. Now, there's not a lot of videos on the 380, and to be honest, when it came out, it really got overshadowed by the SX, so a lot of people got nervous on buying it. Price point. On the SR, you're looking at $600. On the 380, you're looking at $500. Now, if you, like I said earlier, if a 4 decks is a must, then of course you're going to have to go with the SR on that price point because you can't control 4 decks. Well, I'm sure you can. It's a MIDI controller. There has to be a way you can, configure it to it. But, it's really only, the 380 is really only meant for 2 decks, of course. Now, it came out before Serato DJ came out. Now it does work with Serato DJ. And it works fine. Video mix is fine. Very, what's the word? Very, I don't know the word, but it's very on point. It's legit. Works very, very well. As far as the EQs, they're all full kill. The knobs on the 380 are smoother. They kind of feel a little nice and smoother to your finger. The ones on the SR are more gushier, I guess you could say. Knobs are knobs, though. On the 380, you get a needle drop, but you have to hold down shift while scanning that. Other than that, it's also, you could use it as parameters for your effects, which is kind of cool. They both have hot cue, slicer, auto loop, and loop roll. One thing I do like though, I'm not huge on using samples, with the pads here and there. Yeah, they're fun. But one thing that I did like about the 380 is I like how they added the auto loop in the pads and not, a small little section like on the 380 and other, the SX. I like how it's a pad. So you can see where it's set. You can say you don't have to mess around with the little buttons and stuff. Biggest difference is the standalone mixer, to be honest. Now, like I said earlier, you do need a DC in, and it looks like this. It's not a huge power brick at all. I thought it was going to be a big old one like the SX, but it's not. It looks like a phone charger. Literally, it's a tiny, small one, and it's not a make or break deal. If you think about it, for setup, all you would need, you wouldn't even need more than 3 spots on a power strip. You could probably even get away with, just using, one of these little adapters. I don't recommend it, but you probably could get away with using one of these, and your laptop charger and one of these. So that's all you really need. Now, biggest things, in my opinion, is, do you need a standalone mixer? And in my opinion, for the price, why not? I feel like the 380 is really overshadowed by the Pioneer stuff. Yeah, the pads are gushier. But it's not saying like the build quality in the 380 is not there. Some people might think it's a little ugly. I don't. One thing that I do like about the pads, though, even though they are on top, is if you can see they are slanted towards you. I don't know if you could see that, but they're slanted towards you, so it really makes you want to press them. The weight on it is solid due to the standalone mixer. And yeah, you could hook up a Serato box and use this as a mixer if you wanted to. But think about it like this: you're doing a gig, your laptop freezes, and it's frozen for a long time, and you're gonna you're forced to restart it or do something else, and you're not gonna be able to play music on it for about 5 minutes. Luckily, you have a RCA2 headphone cable, and you plug this bad boy in there, and you're good to go. You can still run sound, and you're perfectly fine. As you know, as far as the SR, you can't do that. Once you unplug or turn off your computer, the SR has no more power. It shuts down. You can't run music through it. So, in my opinion, let's talk about Jogwheel, sensitivity and all that. They're both, you could both set them to super sensitive or all the way to the most sensitive. It won't even play music. That's how sensitive it gets. One thing I do like though about the 380 is you can put more, or you could really adjust the tension on the jog wheels themselves. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but in the middle right here there's a screw, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Right, more tight, left, more loose. I'm sure a lot of you fellas like them a little bit more to the right instead of to the left. You don't want to feel like you're swimming in there. Just kidding. Anyways, that's one thing I really do like. So as far as tightness on the jog wheels, as far as scratching and whatnot, I was able to do most things. I can't do a lot of scratches, but my little stabs and chirps I could do on both. The 380 took me a little bit more time to get used to, though, to be honest. But I don't think it's a fair comparison, only because before I ever jumped on the SR and messed with it, I had messed with the SX a lot. And that took me, like anything, a little while to get used to. Now, once you get used to it, of course, you're on it. One big thing for me that I hate about the SR is the fact that these don't light up. And the reason they don't light up is because it's only USB powered. Now, it's a beast. If you really don't touch the jog wheels too much, you really don't do too much scratching and stuff of that nature, then you don't care. Honestly, you don't give a fuck. Now, as for me, I like to touch the jog wheels, and yeah, so that's a big deal to me. Now, which one would I buy? I'm pretty sure the way I've been talking this whole video, you could probably tell that I'm leaning more toward the 380. I've always liked it ever since I saw its first video. For me, 4 decks is not an issue. For me, the standalone mixer is dope. For me, the fact that it could fit in my backpack is legit as fuck. There's no click on the pitches on the 380. There is one on the SR. I wish that there was a click. I do like that the effects are pretty easy, to figure out, and the fact that they're, of course, since it's MIDI, they're post fader, so you just drop the fader and you're good to go. I do like the little light on the 380 a lot, even though I thought it was going to be a little tighter than what it was. Cons to the 380, it's low. The output, I'm sure if you guys have ever, had a Vestax Vci-380, is the biggest complaint about it was the fact that it has a low sound output. Now, the SR is loud, as well as, the SX. You would think it'd be a lot louder, the 380 would, being that it's a standalone mixer. Now, testing it here and there, I did find myself having to crank it a little more, and maybe go slightly into the red. I know, a red line a little bit. But I had to do it in order to get, the loudness that I wanted, the volume that I wanted. So that's another con. Another con for me is it's queuing. The fact that you have to hold down, another button and then hit the button in order to queue a channel, it can get annoying. Especially, if you've had one too many to drink and you forget. So you might just load a track or something. So yeah. Or to load a track, yeah, you gotta hold it down. My bad. I apologize. I fucked that up. To load a track, you gotta do that. But vice versa, you could always forget. And that's all bad. One thing that would have been nice on the 380, but then again, it came out before the whole Serato DJ, and in Serato DJ, what was really big as a whole, SP6, you get more samples, stuff like that, is they don't have a sample volume control, which is not a big deal. You can control it on the software, but the SR does have it, and that's very nice. You could really, you don't have to touch the computer at all, really. So yeah, as far as outputs though, XLRs you can't beat it. I'll take XLRs over quarter inch all day, even though they're both balanced. You know, you get a lock with an XLR, so somebody could trip over your wire, you know, step on it and pull it. It's not gonna come flying out like a quarter inch probably would. So yeah, I would pick the 380 just because it's $100 cheaper. Um, you know, on websites where you can do payments, it's just cheaper overall. You know, and you get a standalone mixer. Yeah, I guess you could say it's not a pioneer, but Vestax makes good stuff too. Think about it. You know, if you watch a lot of these old school turntablists and you know things of that nature, um, what kind of mixer do the majority of them have? A Vestax mixer. Why? Because they're known for their quality. Their faders are legit. You can put an anal fader on here. I think it's a little overkill though, but they sell upgradable crossfaders for the 380. And yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. So if I was you, I would pick up a 380 just because it's a standalone mixer. But that's me. You could take this review comparison however you want with it. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's probably gonna be long because I could tell by this little shit it's fucking 10 minutes already. So this video is gonna be long. So I apologize. Be on the lookout for new videos. And yo, shouts out to you people because I hit 200 subscribers. I know to some people that might ain't be shit, but yo, you guys are dope. And I got some really dope shit coming soon. So you got to be on the lookout because I got some really big things planned for you guys. All right, peace out. See y'all next time.